Hi, my name is Joey, and I'm a freshman from UC Santa Cruz. Being born in a Christian family didn't necessarily make me a better Christian, but it did bring me to understand Christian values. Church was always a place where my family could reconnect with the other Chinese families in Cerritos, and I could play with my friends. So when God began to slowly show himself to me in high school and told me that the only salvation I could receive was from heaven, I didn't understand how to react. The world around me seemed like it was peaceful and content, while God up high was angry at the sins happening around us. During my sophomore year, I went to my first winter retreat. There, I first learned of God's amazing love and the passion that my friends and I could produce by worship with all our hearts. When our guest speaker asked us to raise our hands if we would like to accept Jesus Christ into our lives, I willingly raised my hand, and I felt as though everything were okay with the world. Yet I was confused at why my faith didn't grow very much, tumbling high and low as each retreat came and went. At retreat, I seemed so blessed and saved, but as school set in, I came to depend on myself rather than Jesus. Then I read Crazy Love by Francis Chan, where it tells its reader to take another good look at Jesus' parable of the sower and the 4 types of soil: hard, rocky, thorny, and good. In high school, I always assumed myself in the good soil. But after reading his book, I came to realize that I was in the thorny soil, where the words of life and the deceitfulness of wealth choked me. In John 16:9, Jesus says, "If you belong to the world, it would love you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world." That is why the world hates you. Jesus chose me not so I could live a comfortable life of both loving the world and God, but God chose me to run the good race and spread the gospel to the ends of the earth. As I started college, I asked myself these hard questions. Could I really avoid what the world tempts me with? People have asked me to drink with them, and when I tell them I'm Christian, they reply they have Christian friends that drink. Even though I say no, my heart tells me to ignore one of God's commandments so I can make friends with these fun-loving people and embrace the college experience. Yet God constantly challenged me, telling me to take the narrow path instead of the wide path. College for me right now is amazing. I joined a strong fellowship called Korea Campus Crusade for Christ. Through fellowship, I learned what living for Christ is all about. Jesus says in Matthew 13:44-46, "The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in the field. When a man found it, he hid it again, and then in his joy went and sold all he had and bought that field." Jesus is telling me to give everything towards his cause. Jesus is telling me to keep my gaze steadily fixed towards him, never to waver or to fall into temptation. The world says it is okay for man to fall in his own sin, but that is the nature of man. But God tells me to live according to the standard in which he above sets, and we could but hope to try and accomplish. I stand here willing to share the gospel, not only because Jesus has commanded us to love our neighbors, but also because by loving my neighbors, I worship God. I have 3 roommates, none of them which know Christ, and fervently deny any of their actions as sin. They express no interest in getting to know God at all, and through all my efforts, none of them seem like they view God any differently than before. Satan would tell me to just compromise and give them up as lost, but Jesus has revealed to me to pray for them and continuously reach out for them. I am far from being a perfect Christian. I thank him every day that he continues to challenge me to strive to build my foundation on the rock and not the sand that I always find myself in. I am thoroughly blessed that God is on his throne in heaven and watching over me, so that though the world may conquer my body, it will never conquer